You may think that dashing about collecting Codex pages is a thing of Assassin's Creed past, but in Valhalla there is a quest that allows us to do exactly this. And so this video shall be my guide for a brief history of the Hidden Ones quest, which is a quest which has you searching England top to bottom for Hidden Ones bureaus. This quest took me a long time to figure out, and chances are if you're watching this video you want to avoid that same pain. And as fun as it really was quite time consuming. This guide works as a guide for three things, to be fair. First you have the Hidden Ones bureaus, then you have the Codex pages, and on top of that you have a neat set of armor. I'll be reading the entire Codex at the end of this video just before we turn it into the quest giver. I'll show off the snazzy outfit you get at the end as well. Any other letters found in the Hidden Ones bureaus will be read as we go. I hope that's clear because now it's time to get stuck in. First things first, at your settlement Ravensthorpe, you need to ensure that you have built the Hidden Ones Bureau. Here, Hytham will tell you more about the Hidden Ones, just little bits and pieces. He teaches you the leap of faith, but that's not really relevant to the video. But eventually Hytham tells us this.
Be on the lookout for our symbol. Centuries ago, the Hidden Ones had bureaus built around England. There were 6, I believe. If you can find them, search them well for documents bearing the same symbol. It will greatly aid my studies.
I will. Thank you, Hytham, for all of this.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla's map is massive. Finding them on your own can be a pain in the arse. Fortunately, in the modern day on Layla's laptop, Sean Hastings has sent us a document titled English Locales of Note. It reads as follows. Assassin bureaus, or the Hidden Ones more accurately, they operated in Roman Britain between the years 100 and 430 BCE. It's not clear why they left, but the final date corresponds roughly to the Roman exodus from Britain. So I imagine their leaving had something to do with the Empire's retreat. Mission accomplished or a loss of faith, not sure. But we do know that it was several hundred years before the Hidden Ones returned to the island. It may be that Basim and Hytham are the first in half a century. I believe it's meant to say half a millennium there. From our own archives, I believe there were 6 main bureaus operating in the Roman period. Leicestershire, London, Wincestre, York, Essex and Gloucestershire. These won't be the Saxon names, so you'll have to read between the lines. The Ratae or Ratae Bureau is located in Ledecestre in the city of Ledecestre, which we know now as Leicester. The bureau is located to the east of this little city and isn't too difficult to find. If you set a marker to the location shown before and follow it, you will come across what appear to be Roman ruins. When you find these ruins, you need to climb them. Once atop them, you'll see a big bag of dangling bricks. Make sure you have plenty of arrows, as you will need to shoot it down. You'll notice that when it lands, it blows a hole in the ground. This is the entrance point you will need to access the bureau. This is probably the easiest access of the lot, as once inside you've only got to follow a short corridor and slide under a little gap in the wall. Now you're in a room with banners of the assassin insignia, and shelves upon shelves of scrolls. On the desk next to a chest you will find a letter. An issued Hidden Ones contract. Overtures to Imperator Aurelius have been successful. In exchange for a cessation of hostilities in the north, the Romans have agreed to withdraw from the Antonine Wall. Imperator Aurelius is known to be a fair broker, yet we must verify this withdrawal for ourselves. Dispatch one of Magister rank to oversee troop movements and verify these orders have been carried out to the letter. It appears as if the contract was carried out by a Magister Egan and it was successful. The troops were withdrawn and the treaty was enforced. Next to this you will find a chest inside which are the Hidden Ones gloves. Behind this shelf there is a map of England with a note pinned to it by a dagger. It's an evacuation order. Brothers and sisters, I write bearing difficult news. With the death of Imperator Honorius, all hope of stability and balance in Britannia is lost. The time has come to leave these shores to regroup and refocus our attention where it is needed most. With the departure of the last Imperial legions from this island a decade ago, the tribes and clans native to this island have moved swiftly to fill the vacuum, and few, if none of their number, have any love for our brotherhood. I fear our work has been misunderstood in this land, but the time is long past for redressing these impressions. All currently serving Hidden Ones are hereby ordered to vacate these premises. Should you wish to continue our great work, make your way to our bureau in Cologne. You will be welcomed. Magister Vitus. And then it roughly says in Latin, work in the dark to serve the light. On the table across from this map we will find one of the Codex pages, and now we must vacate the premises for it has nothing left to offer us. The next bureau is in the city of Wincestre. The Bureau is located on the western side of the city, just south of the northwest viewpoint. This Bureau is located down a well of sorts. You must drop down and dive below the water and then follow the passageways, which will bring you to a blocked door. You can unblock this door and it will bring us back to that well entrance. If you cross that entrance, you will find an explosive jar. Bring this jar back through the door, take a left and then left again and throw it down into the ditch, as it will blow a hole in the wall, granting you access to the Bureau. Once inside again, pinned to a map, you will find an evacuation order. Caesar Magnus Maximus has ordered a full withdrawal of Imperial troops from the west of Britannia. Now the people of this region grow weary of our presence and wish us gone. Our task here has always been to strike a balance between lawful obedience and revolutionary action in pursuit of human liberty, but we have often been misunderstood, and this has led to resentment and accusations of fanaticism. Enough is enough. All Hidden Ones are hereby ordered to return to our bureaus in Londinium and Camulodunum for further instructions. Magister Marcellus. On the bookshelf next to this, you will find another Hidden Ones contract letter. Contact and deliver. Belgi and Roman tensions run high. Mutilations and murders of Christian populace at the hands of local Belgi warriors continue to mount. An acolyte is needed to deliver a personal message to Imperator Constantinus, pleading for the protection of Christian worshippers in the region. The Imperator's schedule and route through Britannia is not yet known. Acolyte must trace and follow Imperator's entourage, deliver message at the most opportune moment. The contract was issued to Acolyte Betha, and the status says that it was a success. On the desk you will find the Codex page that you are after. Behind it is a chest inside which you will find Sutunga's claw. And with all that done, it is now time to move on to the third Bureau. The next Bureau we're going to is one mentioned in the evacuation notice in the previous Bureau, and that is of course the London Bureau. Located in the northeast of the city, this one isn't too difficult to find. If you follow the wall along, you'll locate it pretty quick. From the inside of the city, follow a little gap in the wall along until you come across a little crack. You will not be able to squeeze through here as there is something blocking your way. Above this, you will find Roman ruins surrounding an old wooden structure. You must climb this wooden structure and then drop in from the top. Don't worry, water will break your fall. In the chamber you've entered, you will be able to find a letter. The letter is yet another evacuation order. Just a simpler version of the same evacuation letter we found at the Ledecestre Bureau. Barring skipping out a massive paragraph, it just says the same thing. This one's a little disorientating, so I'll guide you through it. You need to hop in this delightful, inviting green-looking water. Once below the water, you feel like you can't see a thing. However, to the left of this chamber, you will find a bit of wood that you can break. Follow the now revealed underwater pathway and you will come out in a different room. Here you'll see a platform hanging and must climb up onto it. Get yourself a good view inside the bureau itself and then shoot the pot that you'll see inside. This should cause an explosion that will blow one of the walls out and allow you access. Immediately to your left you will find a desk on which you will find the Codex page you are after. There's also a chest inside which you will find the Hidden One's mask, which all Hidden Ones use when they visit Tesco, I guess. Next to this chest there is a letter, a Hidden One's contract. Again. Execution. Reliable sources tell us that Imperator Hadrian sails for Britannia this month. He intends to make war upon the northern native people, intercept the Imperator in Londinium. We believe he will stay for 5 nights at the villa southeast of the Colosseum. Enter villa as a slave and dispatch him via poison or under night's obscuring darkness. Amorous diversions are not advised. The Imperator is known to be a cautious man. This was contracted to Acolyte Caius, and the status tells us that the contract failed and the Acolyte was killed. Pinned to a map in this chamber we can find the Journal of Magister Vetus. I write this final entry at night. In the fading glow of a single oil lamp, it appears our work in Britannia has been cut short by forces far outside our control, but that is not quite true. In some ways, we are to blame. For years we have scratched at the pillars of empire, toppling 1 or 2 when the foundation seemed too strong, and the weight of any one Caesar's ambitions seems too pressing. Or is it Kaiser in this context? I guess it doesn't really matter. But there is a limit to how many supports a building may lose before it topples to the ground. We might have been more careful, we might have been more selective, more cautious in our approach to liberty, but we have helped free Britannia of all structure, and now the roof has collapsed. A dark age is coming. The burden now falls upon a future generation to bring back the light. How soon that will be, I cannot say. and I dare not hope. Now we must leave this old ruin and visit our next bureau. Next we're up north in the cold city of Jorvik, which we know as modern day York. Here in the southwest of the city we can find the 4th Assassin Bureau in the Jorvik Cemetery. In this cemetery you may come across a hatch in the ground which you can smash with an arrow. Then you can lower yourself down this well into a waterway. Follow this along and it will eventually spit you out in a chamber where you'll find a crack in a wall behind pots. You must smash the pots and then squeeze through the crack. This brings you into a large room with water in the middle. From where you entered, head to the right hand side of the room and then straight on, parkour across, and you should come across some scaffolding with stones that you can move. Behind this is yet another chamber for you to parkour across, which I say loosely meaning just go forward and jump a couple of times. Follow the corridor after until you come across a really small gap and then slide right through that, and you should now be at a door. Open the door and you're in the bureau. Let's take a moment to appreciate this red rug with the white assassin insignia. It is beautiful. In the room you'll find a map with a note pinned to it again. It's an evacuation order. You'll notice there's a chest locked away in a room we can't access. We need to find the key to get in. Fortunately the key is in this room. At the foot of a bookcase you can find a note. Interloper. Seek high if you wish to pass beyond. We have no further use for the tools that have failed us. Climb the shelves of the bookcase and at the top you will find the key that we are searching for. Drop down and we're instantly at the door it unlocks. Inside the room we will find a chest inside which are the Hidden One's robes. And then right next to it is yet another key. In the corner of the room we will find yet another Hidden One's contract. Imperator Severus flouts the terms of our treaty with Aurelius. He has arrived in Britannia to oversee the fortification and reoccupation of the Antonine Wall. Swift and bold reprisal is needed. The Imperator must die of poison to avoid suspicion of foul interference. Infiltrate Eboracum Villa with caution. The Imperator's Praetorians will be on high alert. Make contact with Centurion Calvinus. The Centurion is one of us and will provide you with the necessary cover. The contract was issued to Magister Chloe and the status tells us that it was a success. In another corner of the room we will find yet another Codex page. Back in the other room there is a chest inside which is a tungsten ingot. And now we must leave this abandoned and forgotten hideout, for there are more to find. And we have expired all of this one's secrets. I think we should all count ourselves fortunate that it is much easier to get out of these bureaus than it is to get in. Our search now brings us to Essex, to the town of Colcestre. Here in the southeast part of the city we will find the 5th Hidden One's Bureau. From the market you can find some explosive pots. Pick one up and then you must climb a tree. I know this sounds really suspicious but believe me it has a point. Follow the tree along, hop down onto a platform and then lob the pot at the ground where you will find a hole open up. With any luck you will not catch fire like I did while descending into this hole. Now you'll find plenty of corridors to follow along, which will eventually lead you to a wall to climb. Climb up there and it will lead you along eventually until you come across some scaffolding that you can move. Shift that out of the way and then move past it. If the assassin insignia is any indication, then we're in the right place. We'll find ourselves in a big flooded room, don't worry, just use the debris to head straight across. If you look to your right and up, you will see a platform. Climb up there. Once you've done that, climb across the chamber to the other side. Down here you will see some water and a door. Ignore the door for now and hop into the water and have a nice swim. Once submerged you should have a clear path and find a key. The key you find down here unlocks the door you find above. Inside this room you can see straight into the main chamber of the bureau, and you can see that there is a door barred. With your bow you can shoot the bar off. Inside the chamber you will find a chest containing the Hidden One's hood as well as a letter which is yet another Hidden One's contract. The Iceni grow impatient for reforms. 4 decades after Boudica, the Romans are unyielding. Citizenship denied to all but outsiders. Requests and pleas sent to Governor Verus and Imperator Domitian remain unanswered. It is time to speak in words the Senate cannot ignore. Verus must die. Cal may, at noon, make a spectacle of it. The contract was issued to Acolyte Anicius, and it was indeed a success. You can also find another evacuation order, and of course the Codex page that you seek. And just like that, we're done with this unremembered ruin. The final Hidden One's Bureau isn't in a town or city at all. Head to Gloucestershire to the far west, west of the town of Gloucester. In the hills over here on the far edge of the map, you will find Roman ruins. You'll know when you found it with this one, as there's a massive Hidden One's insignia etched into the stone flooring, and that one's outside. It's accompanied by a couple of large statues, so it isn't too hard to spot either way. You'll see up the steps between the statues that there is an entrance. This is how we get in. For an assassin bureau, so far this will seem rather remarkably straightforward. This is the Temple of Ceres bureau. Inside you may notice some destructible objects obstructing a little gap in the wall that you can slide under. As you head through the passages you may find some toxic gas. Your torch can burn it. It's not too tough to navigate this, just follow the pathways along. Find one of the explosive pots along the way because you're going to need it, and if you find yourself unable to see as a result, it's probably a great idea to make good use of Odin's Sight. At the end you come across a destructible wall blocking your path, blow it up and you should be good. At the centre of an assassin insignia etched into the ground that is on fire. Now we have the full Hidden One getup, great, but right now, let's find the Codex page. On the desk behind the chest in the chamber, you will find a faded letter addressed to Magister Sebastos. Forgive my spirited tone, but this evacuation order from Magister Vetus in Londinium seems premature and cowardly. For over 3 centuries, the Hidden Ones have worked in the shadows of this empire to protect its subjects from the worst abuses of numberless Caesars and their petulant whims. Yet now as the Empire recedes, our protections begin to bear fruit, we are told to abandon our post? Madness. Have all our efforts come to nothing? Will our noble sisterhood let these violent but few voices who oppose our presence sing loudest? We must be better than this, I am sure you will agree. Your friend and sister in shadows, Magister Maya. I don't know what this Latin is translating to, Google is giving me gibberish. Pinned on a map is a Hidden One's contract. The new Church of Rome has found sturdy footing in the Isle of Britannia, yet our past support of these same worshippers goes unrecognised. Executions of Belgian pagans are a routine occurrence in the streets of the city. Our pleas for compromise fall upon deaf ears. Imperator Theodosius is unresponsive. We must send a message. 3 church fathers, Vetus, Secunda, Agapetus, must die in a public spectacle. Remind the Romans that Britannia is home to numberless tribes. And the Codex page is not too difficult to find as it rests on one of the tables in the room. And that is the final Hidden Ones bureau. Before we turn the 6 Codex pages that we've gathered over to Hytham, we should give them a read. The Maga's Codex, page 1. On a typical day of study and training, as a departure from our usual routine, Master Hakor welcomed a guest into our Alexandrian bureau, a taut woman with a stoic expression. She seemed to be in the later years of her 5th decade. She entered the hall with feathered steps and sat at the head of the room in silence for quite some time as Master Hakor delivered a vague introduction of this unknown figure. Throughout his speech, the woman never once glanced upon him, but swept her eyes across the acolytes seated before her, among whom I counted myself. When at last Master Hakor stepped aside, the woman stood and opened with a blunt statement. If nothing is true, she said, this statement must also be false. The woman left her words hanging in the air. After a long and puzzled silence, a keen acolyte called Magus offered the reply. The creed itself is an irony. It suggests that the world cannot be broken into truths and falsehoods, facts and fictions. Yes, the woman replied. The world merely is. It exists, and we are but a small part of its wholeness. But to exist is to be true, no? A thing that exists is a thing we call a fact. To exist is to exist, the woman countered. Truths and facts are valuations. Acts, not objects. Magus fell silent and the woman continued. If everything is permitted, who gives this permission? Page 2. Another silence. Magus opened his mouth, inhaled and shut it without speaking. We give this permission to ourselves, the woman said. We are the source of our own purpose. None said a word in reply as the woman looked us over. It seemed that she was neither pleased nor dissatisfied with our silence. Then she began pacing the room, slowly turning about and looking around our hidden hall with an expression that verged on nostalgia or satisfaction. With this knowledge, she continued, with this understanding comes a great and terrible freedom. The freedom to rise or fall, to live or die, by your own volition. This is why our creed cuts as cleanly as a double-edged sword. You must take this paradox to heart. The success or failure of our brotherhood depends on your willingness to live in the unfeeling emptiness of this world. As if lost in Tartarus alone and hoping against hope that a door will one day open and let in the light. And that you shall exit, not alone, but with your brothers and sisters at your side. The woman stopped for a moment to run her hand over a dilapidated stony pillar. She seemed to be reliving an old or half-forgotten memory. Catching herself, she stepped away and continued. Because they were with you all along, your brothers and sisters, beside you in the shadows. You walked in the darkness in silence, but you were never alone. Page 3. Yet to see the last light you must feel the loss, the emptiness, the pain, and you must act always with the belief that you have failed, that you will fail again, that you must always fail. This is the way of the Hidden Ones, to fail better than you have before. We wander in the dark, ever searching for the light. She then paused and drew a great breath. But here I must contradict myself, for although the nature of reality is empty and unknowable, the nature of our work is not. And for this brotherhood to succeed, we must have tenets by which we may judge our success. Hard, cold rules. Truths by which we swear. A faint murmur rushed through the gathered acolytes at the realization of what was happening. The final codification, long rumoured, was now upon us. The woman spoke again, with more gravity than before. Since the twilight of the Ptolemies, the Hidden Ones have served to break the unnatural shackles that man puts upon man, and we have done so in a manner consistent with our creed, yet this has often led to confusion and chaos. Thus we have devised a set of 3 tenets, born from rigorous practice and application, to lead us to greater success. 1. She began. Hide in plain sight, that your success may come in view of all, yet swiftly and without forewarning. 2. Never compromise the Brotherhood. Be thoughtful in act and speech, for it is the only sure way to protect ourselves from outside influence and keep our motives uncorrupted. Page 4. And 3. Stay your blade from the flesh of an innocent. Only those with active malice in their hearts need to answer for their cruelty. The unwilling pawns of evil and the bystanders caught in their wake do not deserve the sting of our steel. This is the decree of the Hidden Ones, 3 tenets, together with the creed, to define our path forward. Only these and nothing more. To encumber ourselves further would only dilute our resolve. Here Maga spoke again, most ardently now. Yet, if nothing is true, how can we justify such strictures? Should we not be free to pursue our goal in whatever fashion we see fit? You feel this fatal irony? The woman asked. I only wonder at the contradiction, Maga said. From what authority do these tenets derive? We are the Hidden Ones, a title we gave ourselves, and we gave ourselves a goal, the physical and spiritual liberation of man. These are self-made ambitions. To achieve them, therefore, we need laws to guide us. There is no magic in these words, no appeal to a higher authority. We follow them only because they help us achieve what we ourselves have defined. These laws, they allow us to persist. The effectiveness of any tenet must be judged on the outcome of its practice. Let it be known and recorded. These are the conclusions of the final synod of the Hidden Ones. There will not be another. Today the shadow falls, now and for all time, to obscure us forevermore. Let our work continue only in the dark. Page 5. Work in silence from this day forward. Speak not your names, nor the names of your family and friends, for to do so would be a deadly compromise and a useless gesture. Seek not recognition, nor glory, nor compensation for your duty. Seek only the light, however dimly it may flicker upon the horizon. Pausing, the woman smiled slightly. For the first time since her arrival, she seemed content. We are Hidden Ones, all of us forever together in our solitude. May it ever be so. She stopped there, gave a slight nod and turned and strode towards the exit at the back of the hall, making no sound as she went. The room stayed silent for a time, until Master Hakor broke the peace by urging us to our afternoon studies. Euclid was the subject this day, and amid a rustle of scrolls, the acolytes set to work. Some hours later I found myself in the garden outside the tomb of Alexander Rex, enjoying a bowl of dates and thinking on the lessons of the day, and of the woman who had given us so much to ponder. So deep in thought was I that I did not notice the arrival of Magus, who startled me with a touch on the shoulder. Quite a day, was it not, he said excitedly, to be visited by such a one. Page 6. Mistaking my inquiring expression for censure, Magus waved his hands before him. I know, he said. Glory and recognition are frowned upon. Our anonymity is our weapon. But allow me this one moment of glee, for to meet one of the founders, the woman who ended the Ptolemies no less, it is not a chance we shall have again. A founder? I repeated. Of the Hidden Ones? Her? Yes, oh yes, Maga said. Her true name is lost to the living, as are the names of all of our first hidden ones, a testament to their devotion I suppose, but a woman this coloured and stained by history cannot live invisible in her own time. She has seen the blood of Caesar, the tears of Cleopatra, and the wrath of Imperator Augustus no less. Magus leaned in close so that only I amid the drifting bees and butterflies would hear. She would kill me for speaking her name, but I'll say it. Amanette, they called her, a long time ago, and today, for a moment, she lived not in memory but in flesh. As for the rest, they are gone, and happier for it, I think. And that right there is all 6 pages of the Magus Codex. I know what you're thinking, that was an absolute mouthful. Let's turn it into Hytham.
Hytham, I have the Codex pages you asked for. 6 in total.
Ah, wonderful. We have so little writing from the original hidden ones. This will grow our understanding immeasurably. These documents may have been inked by the founders of the hidden ones, in fact. But their names are unknown to us, lost to history. A deliberate choice on their part, I think. I'm hoping these documents shed some light on that mystery.
I could not say. They're written in a language I do not understand.
You know, the black market merchant Ratae has an old piece of writing from the same era as the Codex pages you found. Speak with him if you are curious to see it.
Yeah, that's the thing. For some reason, Ratae's in this game even though he's in Origins. How is he even alive? And why is he still a kid? Regardless, let's speak with him.
Ratae, Hytham says you have an old piece of writing from the early hidden ones.
Oh, that old scrap? Yes, it's just a short letter from one hidden one to another. One of my rarest artifacts.
How did it find its way to you?
A friend gave it to me for safekeeping. Bayek was his name. Egyptian fellow. Very kind. Haven't seen him in a long time. A very long time. Anyway, the letter is written in Demotic, so it may not mean much to you, but you're free to have a look.
And so we can go over and give this letter a read to finish the quest.
A warning, my beloved. I have heard numerous tales now of a secret codex circulating among the acolytes of our bureaus, both within and without the Empire of Augustus, called the Magus Codex. It names you directly as one of the founders of the Hidden Ones, apart from putting your life in danger. It flies in the face of what we have tried to achieve with our brotherhood. We are justice seekers who shun the light of praise for our good works, and who must live in the shadows of our triumphs. Should you see any pages of this codex, I advise you to destroy them. Keep the dream of our hidden ones alive. Now, I am not so naive to think this will be a simple task. Few men and women are suited to keeping such secrets for so long. And it may be that we will fail in the end, but we will have failed in the name of righteousness. Take care, my love. My Iset. My northern star. Even in my waning years, I am ever your Osiris. Let our Horus live on beyond us. I think of you often, my jewel. At sunrise and twilight. At new moon and full, when the rain falls and the breath of a moon rides across my neck. I remember you kissing me. Just there, and I will take that feeling to my tomb.
The letter is signed The Hidden One, but that is very clearly Bayek's voice. And that is the conclusion of a brief history of the Hidden Ones. It makes no sense courtesy of Ratae being a part of it, but okay. I will say the Hidden Ones robes you get out of this are pretty snazzy. I'm not a massive fan of the green or the over-the-top patterns. I feel like it defeats the point of the Hidden Ones, being simplistic and hiding in plain sight, but I quite like the design itself and the shape it gives the character. It feels very assassin-y, and all the pieces of gear have lovely perks and benefits, so it's 100% worth getting the outfit, especially if you want a more Assassin's Creed feeling playthrough. Unfortunately, due to the placement of some of the bureaus, you won't be able to access them until later on in the game, unless you want to run the risk of being stabbed up by everybody, but it's worth keeping an eye out for these locations when you're nearby in certain areas. And I think that concludes today's guide on the Hidden Ones bureaus, the Codex pages that you find within them, and the armor pieces as well, alongside some Assassin's Creed lore with regards to the early Hidden Ones. thus bringing this video to a conclusion, and Jesus, this is a long one. Thank you all for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share the channel with your friends and all that wonderful stuff, that would be fantastic. And with any luck, I'll be seeing you all very soon with another video at some point, but until next time, take care and goodbye.